The 50th episode of Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Edge Boost. Edge Boost enables you to double your bet with no interest. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to get started today. We're also brought to you by Bird Dog Shorts. The world's greatest shorts are hooking you up with a free Yeti-style tumbler when you order over at birddogs.com/pool. That's birddogs.com/pool.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old-fashioned football.
You make this deal right now, you pancake-eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old-fashioned football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. This is JMark. You can find me on Twitter at JMark Football. And before I keep going to talk about the NFC East, let me bring in my co-host on the pod and in life. You can call her Mir. You can find her on Twitter at JMark's Wifey. Mir, how you doing today?
I am doing great. How are you?
I am a little stuffed up still. I guess that's just going to be the theme going forward as allergies continue to run hell on me.
I don't notice how stuffed up you are until we're doing these.
Right? Well, I'm
like,
not. I don't talk that much, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
I talk too much, I guess. It's been another busy week, busy day, busy week. I guess it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday, but it feels like it's been an entire week.
Yeah.
We're drinking, not to get ahead of ourselves, but something strong today. And I really feel that it's needed.
And we're drinking to celebrate.
Yes.
Sort of. That's what we're going to say anyways.
We didn't realize it. I hate that we never pay attention to this.
Excuse me. I realized it.
We always realize it after. Oh, hey, by the way, this is episode 50. We have done 50 episodes. That sounds crazy.
It does sound crazy. Started with just kind of throwing the idea around to pitching it to the guys, the mothership at SGPN. And here we are, 50 episodes in.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We've made it.
Yeah, we have. And we're continuing our division previews. We only have 3 left.
Yeah. Today we're going to do the NFC East.
Correct. You sounded like you were questioning
I
that.
was questioning it. I was like, what are we talking about today? We're talking about the NFC East today.
Yeah, we've hit the NFC North, the AFC South, the NFC South, the AFC West, and the NFC West. No, sorry, the AFC East and the NFC West.
You can still check out all of those episodes, of course, because it's still, the season hasn't started, and that's one of the things that I really like about our off-season episodes, especially these division breakdowns. They're going to be relevant. They're going to help you. At least I think. I have learned from myself for fantasy football.
Learned from yourself.
I have. But yeah, you can still check out all of our previous episodes over our division breakdowns. They're going to help you with your drafts. So today, the NFC East, which is, of course, the Eagles, Giants, Commanders, and the Cowboys.
Yes, a popular division among the whatever you want to call them, the mothership, the top guys, as in Kramer being a Giants fan and Sean being an Eagles fan, and then our buddy Moneyline Mac is a Commanders fan. I don't know any Cowgirls fans. This organization is anti-Cowboys.
Well, you have all these East teams,
yeah,
and then you just throw in the Cowboys.
Let's sprinkle in a little Texas in the East.
It always, yeah.
They're sort of East Texas, not really, but
no.
Not to mention you can go back and listen to those episodes, but you can listen to the NFC South and then pair it with the Foundry episode to hear what Brandon thinks of his Panthers team, one of the distillers there. You can listen to the AFC South and then pair that with the episode with Victoria Edie Butler. She's
a Titans fan.
Yes, from
Tennessee.
from Uncle Nearest. And then, of course, the AFC East. You compare that with Keeper's Heart with Kate Douglas, who is a big Dolphins fan. Did not grow up in Miami or in Florida, we learned.
In Minnesota, Dolphins fan, but from New Mexico.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I couldn't remember. I'm glad you remembered. But yeah, and just like Iowa, no team in New Mexico, so it's pick a team. All right. Before we keep going, and speaking of drinking, by the way, we're going to have the Foundry back on the 27th. That's when the episode will release of this month. We're also going to have 10th Mountain Whiskey out of Vail, Colorado on the pod in July, so be ready for that one. If you have any questions that pop up, feel free to shoot them our way. It's always fun to ask listener questions and ask what you guys want to know. You guys and gals, I should say.
You people. I always say you guys.
You people. What do you mean you people?
You people. No, but I always, not as a, guys is just like a, I don't know. When I say guys, half the time I'm talking to a group of women. Like, guys, what are we doing? It's not a, I don't know. I think, is that a Midwest thing? Or is that just a me thing?
It's not a, I don't think, I mean, in Spanish, if you're talking about a group of people, doesn't it take the male form?
I'm not, no, I just stop.
Don't want to go down that path.
We're not doing this. I always say guys, like, guys.
Yeah, we've been over this. Last time we talked about this, I said, and every now and then she says, hey, you guys.
Okay.
What are we drinking today?
Moving on. We are drinking, I am not amused with you. We are drinking Maker's Mark. We previously tried, I don't know what episode that was, but Maker's Mark 49, which was very good.
46.
46, 49, 46.
46. Yes.
It was very good.
Yes.
And today we're doing Maker's Mark Cask Strength. And it is packs some heat.
Yeah.
But we'll talk more on that later.
Yeah, and about the set in general that we have on that. However, I know nobody has zero interest in whiskey, but I do want to talk a little bit about zero interest and Edge Boost. This episode is supported by Edge Boost, and Edge Boost is the world's first Bet Now, Pay Later Visa card. Edge currently offers up to $2,500 in betting advances, which can be an extremely valuable tool. Imagine what you can do with an increased bankroll. Get down on some of your favorite futures without tying up your bankroll for months. Double down on your favorite bet. In fact, we are going to give one that relates to this division at the end of the episode. And Edge Boost isn't some sleazy loan shark, as they charge zero interest. That means zero. That means you pay no interest. Do you know of a way you can access more money to place on your favorite bets without paying interest? Because I sure don't. Edge Boost can also be part of a reasonable gambling plan, as you can set up daily, weekly, monthly limits across all your betting accounts in one place.
Support SGPN and grow your bankroll by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge to sign up. Again, that's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/edge.
And of course, must be 21 or older to use. If you have a problem gambling, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Let's jump right into this. This is a fun division. As I was looking at the teams, there's some people that I feel very strongly on. Your hand is in the air. I will call on you shortly. Some players I feel very strongly on, as in I like them, and some I feel very strongly on, as in I don't. So, yes, Miranda in the back of the room there.
Let's back it up before we get started. There's some news.
Oh, you're right. There is some news.
Dalvin Cook was cut from the Vikings.
He was. Do you think he goes to the Dolphins as you predicted in whatever March? I think it was February, March.
I did predict this, and I believe last week.
You didn't even mean to predict it.
I didn't mean to.
It
was just like
Dolphins.
A thing that I said. Oh, Dalvin Cook for the Dolphins. I don't even know why. That was really weird, but it was like anyway.
Yes.
I think I said last episode that I didn't know that he was. I've been exhausted lately. Mentally exhausted from work.
True.
And I forgot about that completely. I forgot that I said Dalvin Cook was going to the Dolphins. Like I pre-predicted it back in March. And last episode I said that I forgot that he was in trade talks in March. Okay.
You going to be okay over there?
I don't know if I'm going to be okay. We'll see.
Let's talk
hope.
about that a little bit. If Dalvin Cook goes to the Dolphins, that is a crowded back room or backfield. Back room. Running back room is what I think I meant to say. And then I was changing to backfield. Because they do have Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson, and the rookie Devin Achane. Then adding Dalvin Cook in there. That's pretty crowded.
Yeah, what does that do for Mostert?
I think Mostert takes a hit because Cook would obviously be the first guy to get the ball.
Yeah, he's going to be the RB1. If he goes to the Dolphins, there's no way Cook is not RB1.
They are the favorites to land him. Another team that has popped up in betting odds anyways, the Bills.
The Bills.
Now, the Bills have a very good offense. I don't think they've had an elite rusher. Devin Singletary, yes, he got the job done, but I don't think that's a guy that was elite. Picture Dalvin Cook on the Bills. I think that makes him a top 10 fantasy running back.
That's a scary team.
Yeah, absolutely. And it would also be kind of fun because his brother is the RB2 there, so he'd be playing with his brother.
The Cooks.
Yeah, yep. Other teams have been thrown out. Patriots, the Bears have come up in talks. I mean,
I wouldn't argue against it, but
a team in this division, the Cowboys, have come up as Cook to kind of serve as a Zeke replacement. That obviously would hurt Tony Pollard's value.
Yeah. I feel like so many running backs are like taking a hit on value this year.
Absolutely.
And it's something that people really need to pay attention to come time to draft because so many teams are having talented RB1s and RB2s, are using both backs on the field.
Yeah, drafting with 0 RB is a strategy that I've always thought was insane, but I think we're getting more and more to the fact that you're looking at maybe doing that and considering it because once those top 2 or 3 guys are gone,
does it matter?
You might want a wide receiver instead, a top wide receiver. Yeah.
I shouldn't say doesn't matter, but it impacts, like you said. You're going to stack your wide receivers that are going to get you the points.
Definitely interesting. I don't think Alexander Madison holds the same fantasy football value that Dalvin Cook did.
I don't either.
Okay.
No.
Same page there.
Even though they're talking him up.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Yep.
However, if Madison isn't sharing time.
Yeah. I guess. Maybe as the RB1. I just feel like I haven't seen enough flash.
No.
But
you know, when we're talking about these top like Dalvin Cook, all these teams that we're talking about already have an established RB1. Obviously, he's going to come in as an RB1, but what does that do for your previous RB1 who becomes an RB2?
Right.
It's going to take a hit on value for both.
So maybe
for fantasy.
I guess it depends where you get Alexander Madison then for me because he's going to get yards. He's going to get opportunities. Whether he can do what Dalvin Cook did with him, I guess, is yet to be seen. Other running back news, and in this division, Saquon Barkley is currently skipping mandatory training camp.
He is holding out.
Yeah. Now, it's not a true holdout, but he did say if they get closer to the season, still no deal, that he may consider sitting out. Last running back that did that, Le'Veon Bell, did not work in his favor. He didn't come back and get a big payday. He didn't come back and even do well. So I don't think that's the right move for Saquon myself.
I don't either.
All
honestly,
right.
But
any other news?
Do you want to remind everybody about our June giveaway?
Yes, we are polling. You can get to our poll now. Greg at Better Edge set us up with an awesome link. It's betteredge.com/OFF-fun.
And after Justin's mess up.
I did mess up.
We are being extra, double checking ourselves before we get those polls out there.
Why don't we talk about that real quick? So we have a poll question regarding our podcast, and then we have one regarding a game. And mine was around the NBA Finals game and the Joker's points. And I meant to type 39 or less. I typed 35 or less. And so there was a gap between 36 and 39, and that's exactly where he finished that game. So, my bad. Sorry, everybody. We'll get that resolved. Don't worry. It's not going to count against you. That's for sure.
No, it won't. We'll get it replaced.
Yes, we will. All right.
Okay, now I'm ready, Justin, to talk about the NFC East.
Real quick.
Never mind.
We're not ready yet. I'm not sure this episode's going to be short, but speaking of shorts, we've got a new sponsor, the Bird Dogs. And this is pretty cool. Bird Dogs are extremely cool and good shorts. They make you look good. They're stretch khaki shorts, and they're designed to fit slimmer through the thigh and leg, giving you a truly sculpted look. Now, I don't know if I would look more like a sculpted or more like a turkey leg, but it might make me look a little bit more like I have Saquon Barkley's legs. Bird Dog shorts do the exact same thing as a Lululemon, but fit way better. They fit better than those regular shorts that are made of that stiff, restricting cotton. No, they're comfy. And they fix that issue of that stiffness by inventing these cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches so you get the way slimmer fit without having to sacrifice movement. Plus, this is very important in the summer for everybody, but it's definitely important in the summer to have anti-stink, sweat-wicking fabric, and they got it.
Yes, please, for all you men out there.
That's right. Keeps you cool and dry all day long. I think Saquon Barkley needs a pair of these. You know, he's got big old thighs. So, yeah, enjoy your summer, whether you're fishing or playing a little flag football with your Bird Dogs.
Does Saquon Barkley need the anti-chafing
He might.
shorts?
Yeah, I heard Mrs. Barkley. I don't know if he's married or has a girlfriend, but I've heard the other players on the team complain about the stink from the sweat, and so he needs this anti-stink sweat. But anyways, you can get yours by going to birddogs.com/pool and enter promo code POOL. That's POOL, and you get a free Yeti-style tumbler with your order. Put your beer in it while you're fishing in your Bird Dogs. That's birddogs.com/pool for a free Yeti-style tumbler. You won't want to take your Bird Dogs off, we promise you, and they're anti-stink sweat, so you don't have to. Wear them the whole week. That's okay. All right. I don't feel like you agree with that, but that's okay.
I think you should change your pants more often. But
Change your pants. You need to go change your pants. Yes, birddogs.com/pool. Check it out.
This is Jim Miller, former Chicago Bears quarterback. Now, back to old-fashioned football.
All right. Are you ready now?
Are
you keep
ready?
distracting me over
I'm
there.
ready. How many rabbit holes are we going to go down?
We're not drinking Rabbit Hole. We're drinking Maker's Mark. Why don't we start with the team that made the Super Bowl? They did not win it, but they did make the Super
Eagles.
Bowl.
Let's start with them.
Sean's team.
Sean's team. All right.
And CJ's. Sorry, just shout out to CJ Sullivan, the man in the box.
All right. At quarterback, we have Jalen Hurts.
Yes.
He did miss 2.5 games last year due to injury. But he finished out the season with 384.1 points. He had, are you ready for this?
I am.
10 top 5 finishes.
Ooh.
10. He was ranked 3rd for quarterbacks last year in fantasy. And he is valued at $28. And I do feel that value, I mean, I don't spend that much on my quarterbacks, but I think that he is a quarterback that is worth his value.
Absolutely. He's kind of a guy that in the dynasty I made sure to get. I made sure to get him in my dynasty right away. I made a trade to acquire him. He's definitely a guy you want on your team, and he's got great passing ability. He took that step forward last year, and great rushing ability. He's kind of the dual threat, the guy that you want. Looking up here real quick, just out of curiosity, I know we haven't covered the AFC West yet, but I think probably everybody, if you ask them who the number 1 quarterback in the league is, they're going to say Patrick Mahomes, right?
Yes,
3,
that's
4,
who
5,
I would
6,
say.
7, 8. Patrick Mahomes, 8 top 10 finishes. Jalen Hurts.
I know.
had
Seeing
10.
that number 10 is like, whoa, I haven't seen that yet. But Mahomes did produce more points last year.
He did. Now, had Jalen Hurts not gotten hurt, he might have.
He might
don't
have.
know.
That would have been interesting, but
Yeah, but
he
did get hurt.
miss those games.
Yep. So $28, that's a lot for a quarterback, but I like it because Jalen Hurts is a guy that will win you week in and week out.
Let's talk about these Eagles running backs.
I'm just not as excited about them like I would have been Miles Sanders.
DeAndre Swift coming over from the Lions. He missed 3 games last season. Then played a back seat
To your guy,
to my guy,
Jamal
Williams.
Sorry, stole the words right out of your mouth.
You did. Who is now playing for the Saints. Last year, Swift finished with 167.1 points. He had 4 top 5 finishes. He was ranked 22nd, and he's valued at $21. We saw Jamal last year with the Lions get so many points. Like, I was so pleased.
Yeah.
I didn't need Swift. I just needed Jamal.
Right.
And I had him. But Swift still put up the numbers, even with all the action Jamal was getting.
I just don't trust Swift. I was surprised the Eagles let Miles Sanders go. I get that Swift is a talented running back, but it's interesting. They brought in DeAndre Swift and Rashad Penny, formerly of the Seahawks, both guys that struggle with injuries. So they bring in 2 guys that are injured. Both guys have a lot of talent when they're healthy, but they're injured often. I'm not spending the $21 on Swift. I was anti-Swift last year. I'm anti-Swift this year.
It's a pass for me as well. Like, I'm not targeting Swift.
Yeah, that's a no for me,
I'm trying
dog.
to think about where I would value him at, and the number 15 is kind of just popping out in my mind.
I'm staying away completely.
I'm staying away, but I mean, I still think $21 is too much for him.
Yeah.
I know you mentioned Rashad Penny. They also have Kenneth Gainwell, Boston Scott.
Yeah, who always scores touchdowns against the Giants. Do you know he's not played a game against the Giants and not scored a touchdown
Interesting.
in 3 or 4 years?
Pick him up for that week.
Right.
Those weeks.
Yeah, it's definitely a good gambling angle. Boston Scott anytime touchdown when they play the Giants. Yeah, the running back in general here, I'm staying away. I'm sure one of these guys is going to have success. It's probably going to be Swift, but I don't like it.
Wide receivers, they have A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
Last year, he finished out the season with 255.6 points. He had 3 top 5 finishes. He was ranked number 5 among wide receivers, and he's valued at $41, and I think that's what you're going to pay for top 5.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think he probably could have finished even higher if Jalen Hurts had been healthy the whole year. I know it was only 2 games, but still, A.J. Brown is one of those guys that seems like he can't be covered. You know, even when they try to double him, he still gets his. So if you want a top guy, you're going to have to pay $41 for A.J. Brown, and I support it if you have it in your budget to do so.
Yeah, I think targeting top wide receivers this year is going to need to be a priority in your draft strategy, and you got to budget around that because you're going to have to pay.
Speaking of budget, the other guy they have, Devontae Smith, he's going for $21 and finished 10th.
So they have 2 top 10 wide receivers right here. 20% of the top 10 wide receivers last year are on the Eagles. Devontae Smith last year finished with 207.1 points, 2 top 5 finishes. Like you said, he ranked 10th among wide receivers, only valued at $21, and it seems low.
It does. So I think if you spend up $28 for Jalen Hurts, maybe you take Devonta Smith instead. So now you just have $49 wrapped up in those 2 guys rather than the $69 if you would go for A.J. Brown. That's just kind of what I would do.
It is a difference of like 48 points.
Yeah.
But it's still top 10.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so $20, 48 points. You weigh what that means to you, but I think if I need to save money, Devonta Smith's the guy.
I don't think I'll disagree with you. Other wide receivers the Eagles have, Quez Watkins.
Yeah, and he's kind of a hit and miss guy. That's a guy I think we're probably going to talk about in our waivers at some point, but I don't know if I'm drafting him.
We'll see. I don't even think he's worth a flyer.
Yeah.
It will be a see what happens on this team with injuries and if there is any, knock on wood.
Yeah. Which brings me to something that we kind of discussed briefly. I'm just going to sell it now. When we get to our waiver wire episodes in the year, we're adding something new where we're going to be identifying, is this a guy that, pick him up to start just for this next week? Is this a guy that, hey, he's going to be relevant probably for the rest of the year? Or, hey, pick this guy up and stash him. And it's possible they fit in multiple categories, I guess. But just adding some more information so you guys can kind of make your decisions on who you want to take in your waivers.
Yeah, last year was really interesting when we were doing waiver wires because we were really also noticing the percentage of target share that people were getting, and it was unexpected. And then people did finish where we didn't anticipate them to finish for the year in rankings. And
we are going to be bringing you target shares again, all that information, and we're going to be spot checking ourselves. I haven't told you that, but we're going to be kind of going back, like after we've said, hey, pick this guy up, then it's going to be like, hey, here's who we said to pick up in week 2. Here's how he's done.
Should have listened to us.
Right? Or
right.
Sorry about that.
All right, let's move on to tight end. Dallas Goedert missed 5 games. He did finish out the year with 113.7, which I don't know if you've been listening to us. We've had a lot of 80 points.
Yeah.
70-some points finishing for tight end. So 113.7, not bad. 2 top 5 finishes. He did rank 12th overall. He's going to be somebody you're rostering or will be rostered in your leagues most likely. And he's valued at $22. And I'd like your thoughts on that.
Finished 12th, missed 5 games. So if he's healthy,
$22 though?
You're looking at potentially a top 6, top 5 guy.
Not top 5.
Let's bring up the points.
Okay. Not top 5. Just for perspective, last week we did NFC West?
Yes.
Okay, well anyway, last week's episode covered NFC West. George Kittle, second ranked tight end, valued at $24.
Yeah.
Goddard is not. I don't care if he has Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to say better quarterback thrown to him. Allegedly.
But Kittle is Kittle. I'm just going to continue with that.
Kittle is Kittle. That's true.
He has been a top tight end. He's going to stay a top tight end. $24. And you're talking about, even if he would have played those 5 games, maybe he's 7th or 8th for Goddard.
He would have only needed 30 more points to be the 5th ranked tight end. In 5 games, that's only 6 points a game.
Shit. But still.
Okay, shit. He is a top 5 tight end.
You think he's top 5?
I do.
You're making that argument. Who is number 5? Number 5 is
Taysom Hill.
I was just going to say it's Hill.
Yeah. Sure you were. Just kidding.
Really now?
I'm spending the 22.
You're spending the 22 on him.
And banking that he's going to be a top 5.
5 or 6. I don't know. Taysom Hill is so versatile that he has value that other tight ends don't have. Whereas if he only played the tight end position, Taysom Hill would not be a top 5. Yeah. But he gets points from quarterbacking. He gets points from running.
Right.
So that puts him up there.
Yeah. 141 is where Taysom Hill ended out. So, yeah. Something to consider. You're a no. It sounds like on $22.
I don't know. That just seems. I'm thinking about it. It depends because I normally target higher than 6th when I'm drafting for tight ends.
So it depends who you get, who's available.
It depends who's available, but I do agree he's going to be if he would have played, he would have been up there. I guess that's only in 5 games. He was going to score more than 10 points. And that's the difference. 30 points. 30 points, sorry.
But still, that's 6 a game. That's only 6 a game in a half PPR.
What did he average? Do you have his stats up? So on average, he was averaging about 10 points a game. So if you take those 5 points, that would have been maybe 50 points more. You're talking he would have finished more than.
Yep. $22, book it. Let's move on to the Giants.
You're like, let's just get going. Yes, quarterback, Dan Jones.
Not Daniel.
Not to be confused with Daniel Jones because he is a changed man. Last year, he finished out the season with 293.9 points, 3 top 5 finishes, ranked 9th. He's a top 10 quarterback, valued at $1.
So, to me, this is saying they think last year was a fluke. But it's not
They
like
don't
he
believe in
had-
Dan Jones.
No, but it's not like he had playmakers all around him.
No.
He had a cast of misfits, and now you add in Darren Waller, and you get some more receivers in there. I don't understand the $1. I'm paying it all day.
Yeah, he's definitely worth $1. He's
Probably worth $5.
I was gonna say $5. Yeah, that's interesting to me. Let's not get ahead of ourselves and jump to tight end, but I do want to talk about Darren Waller when we get there, obviously. But so at running back, we already talked about Saquon Barkley. He is holding out. Don't know how that's gonna go for him. But last year he finished with 255.5 points. He had 4 top 5 finishes. He was ranked 6th, and he's valued at $55.
It's too much for me.
That
like
does
Saquon
seem like too
Barkley,
much.
but this is a guy that, he didn't get injured last year, but he's had injury history.
He is injury prone.
Now you got the drama of the holdout.
I don't see him finishing 6th.
Yeah, $55 is too much for me.
Save that money and get somebody else in the top 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how. I don't agree with that.
So we're both passing. Mm-hmm. All right.
Wide receivers, they have Darius Slayton, who missed 4 games, finished out the season with 105.4 points, no top 5 finishes, valued at $1, and was ranked 51st.
Yes.
They also have Isaiah Hodgins, who missed 8 games, finished out the season with 81.7 points, no top 5 finishes, ranked 72nd, and valued at $1.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So Dan Jones had Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins for some games. They had Sterling Shepard, Wan'Dale Robinson, who are still on the team for some games. Mm-hmm. Now they also have Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, the rookie, who I think could have a really good year, actually.
Of these wide receivers, I feel like
That's who I'm going after, yeah. And they also had a Jamison Crowder, who's a good vet. Like, I don't see Dan Jones necessarily taking that much of a step back to where he's only valued at $1. I don't get it.
And at tight end, like we said, Darren Waller, who did miss 9 games,
Yes.
finished out the season with 70.8 points, 2 top 5 finishes, was ranked 28th. I feel like he would have finished much higher, obviously, had he not missed over half the season. And he's valued at $23. See, this too, okay? You have Kittle for $24, Darren Waller at $23, and Goddard at $22
Yeah.
for value. This is interesting.
It is. Darren Waller, this is a little inside information from Studio Connections, but Darren Waller was not injured those 9 games.
Dun, dun, dun.
Darren Waller and the organization were in a fight. In fact, I don't know if you know this. I did not. Kramer informed me, but Darren Waller was traded on the weekend of his wedding. He got a call on the weekend of his wedding, which seemed very purposeful. This organization was not happy with him. He was not injured, but they were not fielding him and calling him injured, kind of like the Kyle Long story that you talked about. So I guess I wouldn't play up so much that he's got some injury concerns, which is kind of how I felt until I heard this.
Yeah. So the Raiders dumped him on his wedding.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's interesting. It makes me wonder, like, how much of that kind of stuff goes on. We're like, fine, you're just on injured reserve.
Yeah, no, I agree. They also got Daniel Bellinger, who started playing. He had some decent games before injury last year. I didn't want you to see this photo. I'm assuming you've not seen a photo of him this year.
No.
I didn't want to see you this photo. There were reports that he showed up training camp a little jacked. I wanted you to see this. Like,
Jesus.
yeah, if you haven't seen it, just go to Google image Daniel Bellinger 2023. The dude looks.
What, did you just do roids all off season?
It looks
What
like it, does it
happened?
not? It looks like he's juicing. Is he relevant this year? Do we see a situation where 2 tight ends will produce numbers?
I don't know.
With hurting at wide receiver?
I'm comfortable with Darren Waller.
Yeah.
Jesus, I don't know. What is he doing?
I mean, his arms look similar to mine, right?
Yes, Justin, yes.
Good answer. Are you passing on Darren Waller at 23?
$23, yes.
I think he's going to have a big year, but 23 is too much for me. 22 is not too much for me for Goddard. 23 for Waller is, though. I don't know why. Just is.
Well, especially if Daniel Bellinger walks in
Looking
like that.
Yeah. You knock him out. Knock him out. Let's move on to the Cowboys. Everybody at this organization's most hated team, it seems like.
At quarterback, we have Dak Attack Prescott, who missed 5 games. Last year finished out the season with 213.6 points, 2 top 5 finishes. He ranked 18th among quarterbacks, and he's valued at $8.
I get that he puts up fantasy football numbers, but I'm not a Dak believer. I'm not a Dak backer.
Dak is valued at $8. Dan Jones, top 10 quarterback, valued at $1. I don't understand the valuations sometimes on how their players are being valued, but I don't agree with $8. I'm not spending $8 on Dak Prescott.
No, especially because I think their receiving game is actually going to take a step back. They lost Dalton Schultz. They lost some of their receivers. I think it's going to take a step back.
Yeah, so at running back, they have Tony Pollard, who finished out last year with 229.3 points, 4 top 5 finishes. He's a top 10 running back, ranked 7th last year. And if the receiving game is going to hurt for the Cowboys, I think that increases his value.
Rod and I just did the NFL Gambling Podcast, and we did running back power rankings. Tony Pollard did make mine. This guy ran for over 1,000 yards last year, and Zeke Elliott was there and ran for 817, I believe it was. It was over 800. Zeke's not there anymore.
No.
Pollard's going to get more touches.
So one thing I think in fantasy this year, when you're looking at running backs, you need to look at who is an RB1 with no shared time.
Yeah. There's not a lot of them.
No. And those should be guys that, regardless of where they finished last year, you should be targeting, because we are seeing so many teams go to a 2-back system where they're sharing time.
Agreed, yeah.
And
$33
Tony
for
Pollard,
Pollard I'm going for.
He's somebody I feel like should be targeted, especially when you take into consideration what's happening with these receivers. CeeDee Lamb, last year finished out the season with 248.1 points, 2 top 5 finishes, top 10 wide receiver. They do have CeeDee.
Yeah.
Ranked 6th, and he is valued at $38. They have Brandon Cooks, who they got from the Texans this offseason, and missed 4 games last year, so he finished out the season with 117.1 points, 1 top 5 finish, ranked 49th, and is valued at $1. They also have Michael Gallup, Jalen Tolbert,
Simi Fehoko?
Yes.
And former USFL MVP Kevontae Turpin.
Turpin, yes. What do you think about CeeDee?
I never draft CeeDee Lamb.
Mm-hmm. Why?
And obviously he's good. Maybe I'm brainwashed by the organization. I don't know. I just never go for CeeDee Lamb.
Brainwashed by what organization?
SGPN.
Okay.
The anti
like
drafting
you mean,
Cowboys.
Yes,
Yeah, no.
just the
Cowboy hate in
yes.
general.
The atmosphere around SGPN when
right.
it comes to the Cowboys. Okay.
Obviously CeeDee Lamb has put up some big numbers.
He is putting up big numbers.
Yeah, he finished 6th. It was interesting when you look at his game log from game to game. Let me pull it up here real quick, because if I remember correctly, he almost relied more on outliers than, like, outlier big games than consistency. Let me get it up. All right, so here's CeeDee Lamb throughout the 2022 season. First game, 2.9 points. Then 8 point. Oh, let me flip to half PPR, not standard.
Yeah,
sorry.
let's get
3.9 points, 11.6, 18.7, 18.7, 7.8, 10.2, 8.6, 16.3, and then 32.5, 7, 14.7, 17.9, 5.8, 16.2, 29, 15.5, 13.7.
That's too many single-digit games for a top 10 wide receiver.
I agree. I think his number is boosted by outliers. Outlier like that 32-point
I'm
game.
not spending $33 on
38.
I'm not. What? Oh, yeah. 38. Sorry. I'm not spending $38 I'm not targeting my top 10 wide receiver and spending that $38 on my top 10 wide receiver.
Right.
And having him throw 6 single-digit games at me.
Right. I 100% agree. I'm avoiding CeeDee Lamb because of that. Dak Prescott is not consistent. And so CeeDee Lamb's numbers go with that. And I'm definitely not drafting Brandon Cooks, who is an older player. Jerry Jones likes to make these trades.
He's no longer 26. He is not in his prime.
Right. Jerry Jones likes to make these trades for these older wide receivers, hoping they'll bring in some flash. Brandon Cooks has been a big play guy in the past. I think you'll probably get 1, 2, maybe even 3 big games. But every other game, it's going to be very hit and miss. So I'm not even touching that. I'm not going after it. I'm not going after any of these receivers, actually. Michael Gallup might have a little upside for $1, but I'm not doing it. I'm going with Tony Pollard on this Cowboys team, and that is
I'm going
it.
hard on Tony Pollard.
Whoa.
Let's move on to tight ends. Jake Ferguson is currently listed as their starter.
Yeah.
He played behind Dalton Schultz last year. He also missed 6 games due to injury. His top finish was 12 points.
Woo.
Finished out the season with 38.9 points, 0 top 5 finish, ranked 47th.
Take this in for a minute. 11 games. Top finish was 12. So that means in the other 10 games, he scored only 26.9 points.
So he averaged 2.6 points a game.
Yeah. Now I know he was the backup. I get it. But
yeah. They also, he's not who I would, if I'm going to take a tight end, it's not going to be him. What about Luke Schoonmaker?
Yeah, on the current depth chart, he's listed as tight end 3.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah. But I like his upside. I think he plays his way.
Dynasty,
yeah.
I think
He makes his way
the
to
Cowboys
playing time.
have to get their shit together. They have to. And Schoonmaker, I almost drafted him in our rookie league.
Yeah. You traded the pick instead, right?
I did.
I remember that. And then Schoonmaker was taken with that pick.
I know. But it's fine. I don't regret.
You were set at
my
tight
trade.
end.
I know.
To be fair.
To be fair.
To be fair.
Yeah. For me,
I'd
the inconsistency, it's just not a reliable offense.
No. Ferguson isn't inspiring me at all. Schoonmaker will win that job, and so I would do like $1 or $2 on him.
Yeah. Think
Especially
about
for
the
the
future.
Yep.
If you're going to be targeting a Dallas tight end, think about the future and go with Schoonmaker.
Can you believe they let Schultz go when Jake Ferguson is their option? I don't get it.
I don't know.
Let's move on to the Washington Redskins.
Commanders. The Washington football team?
The Washington was such a dumb. Commanders is such a dumb team. They're in the middle of getting sold. Maybe they'll bring back a different team name. But anyways.
At quarterback, we have Sam Howell, who only started 1 game. He finished that game with 19.3 fantasy points. And it was good for 7th that week.
Now, it was the last game of the season, so some of your starters were resting. But yeah, finished 7th.
Rookie from North Carolina. And he's set to start as their QB1. He's valued at $1.
Rookie last year, you meant, right? Last year he was the
Yeah,
rookie.
sorry.
Yeah.
Last year being the rookie from North Carolina. Sorry. Should be more specific.
I knew what you meant. Just wanted to clarify in case anybody got confused. Yeah, they're turning the keys over to Sam Howell. I don't have a lot of. I don't know. He's got a great receiving core. I just don't know if he's the guy.
We're gonna find out.
Yeah.
At running back, they have Brian Robinson, who missed 5 games. I mean, of course, he was shot and made an amazing comeback onto the field just after 4 weeks after that event. However, his time was split with Gibson.
Yeah.
So Robinson last year finished with 108.2 points, 1 top 5 finish, valued at $4, and he was ranked 41st. Antonio Gibson finished with 142.9 points, no top 5 finishes, ranked 31 last year, valued at $11. Do you think that Gibson, I think, in my opinion, Gibson finished with more points because Robinson was out?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the difference, we're looking at 34 points.
Yeah, and that's 10 rankings,
4
and I
games,
don't
34
think
points.
I think that Robinson would have been ahead, if not very similar in the value there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think they're going to continue to split the time? Do you think Robinson is going to be RB1 over Gibson?
So if you believe ESPN's depth chart that they have listed, they have Robinson ahead of Gibson. If you look at this, which is pulled from Sleeper, they think Gibson is ahead of Robinson. So I'm not sure. I like Robinson's promise better.
I know. Robinson is younger. He has, I think he would have had more points than Gibson had he not missed 5 games.
And now Gibson only had 1 fumble last year, but he does have a history of fumble issues. I just don't think he's the guy. I think Robinson takes his backfield over. And Gibson will still be involved.
They're going to share time.
But yeah.
It's a 2-back system.
I'd spend the $4 on Robinson.
Let's look at these wide receivers. We have Terry McLaurin.
Scary Terry.
Scary Terry. Last year, finished out the season with 190.5 points, no top 5 finishes. He was ranked 14th, and he's valued at $16. They have Jahan Dotson, who missed 5 games, finished out the season with 113.1 points. Again, no top 5 finishes. He was ranked 50th and is valued at $1. They also have Curtis Samuel, who finished 34th among wide receivers. Dayami Brown and Dax Milne. Thank you.
Yeah, this all depends on your faith in Sam Howell. But Terry McLaurin continues to do well no matter who the quarterback is, it seems like.
Yeah.
He's worth
reliable.
the $16, I feel like.
I agree. I do. He's reliable.
He might go less. He might go less in your leagues because people generally in our leagues are not high on Washington Commanders players. He went for $8 last year. I specifically remember that. So,
well, just because our leagues aren't high on Commanders.
No, I know. I'm just saying your team or your league might not even push that to the 16. So just keep an eye on it. Don't fall asleep during the draft. That's what I'm saying.
Are you saying that to our leagues or
no? To listener leagues.
Just because okay.
I'm fine if our league falls asleep during the draft because it benefits me.
Let's just move on to tight ends. Logan Thomas, he did miss 4 games. He finished out the season with 57.8 points, no top 5 finishes, ranked 35th, and is valued at $1. I'm not targeting him.
Yeah, that's a no from me, Doug.
All right, Randy. Not to be confused with your dad.
Right.
American Idol. I haven't watched that in a lifetime.
Some good singers. I see them while I'm scrolling the Insta and stuff. Which, don't forget, there is an old-fashioned football Instagram account coming soon when Miranda gets an opportunity.
Yeah, way to put the pressure on me.
Right?
I put the pressure on myself last week, and now this week you're doing it because what still has not been done. I have been. I was about to say something extremely inappropriate. I was going to say I've been balls deep in a work project.
Making me choke over here. Balls deep in the work project. I know you've been very busy with work. In fact, you probably have to get to work after this, don't you?
Yeah, my work day is not over.
All right, let's talk about our tops. Pop quiz coming up. Just kidding, not a pop quiz, but there will be a poll question regarding these. Who's your top quarterback?
Jalen Hurts. I think that's a no-brainer.
I agree. Though, I can't, if you don't want to pay that money, go for Dan Jones.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong with Dan Jones, even though they're not valuing him correctly.
Top running back.
Ooh, Tony Pollard.
I agree. I wanted to say Saquon, but the drama, the injury, everything.
It's
the
gonna
$55.
go south.
Go Tony
you
Pollard.
Can spend $55 for Saquon, or you can spend $33 for Tony Pollard and get a back who's going to see a lot more field time.
Yeah. Top wide receiver.
So you agree with me on both my picks so far?
So far, it's kind of scary. Top wide receiver, feel like we'll see eye to eye here too, but let me hear it.
Do, 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 do.
You can give me your top 2 if you want as well.
Yeah, A.J. Brown and Terry McLaurin.
All right, good. We have something different here.
Oh.
A.J. Brown.
Oh, Devontae Smith. You're going to say you're going both.
Devonta. Smith.
Sorry, Devonta.
He makes a deal about that. I don't care. It looks like Devontae to me. Devonta Smith. I'm taking the Eagles, guys, because I don't trust Sam Howell that much. Even though McLaurin has been consistent.
He's been consistent. He's a consistent wide receiver. And looking at this division, I don't think you can go wrong with A.J. Brown.
So your top targeted guys are A.J. Brown
My top
and
target
Terry
would be
McLaurin.
A.J. Brown. And then Terry McLaurin.
All right, and mine are A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith.
I keep saying Devontae. Devonta. Sorry.
Top tight end.
I think we worked that out on the show here. Dallas Goedert.
Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, because he clearly would have finished ahead of Taysom Hill if he had not missed 5 games.
Yeah, agreed.
His points and everything, it looks good. He is a top 5 or 6 tight end.
We agreed on far too much with those tops. I'm glad we disagreed on wide receivers.
I'm not taking both Eagles.
Yes. Now.
Well, no. I don't know.
No, don't do it. You already said it.
I know. I'm
It's
sticking
in
with my
stone.
pick. I was just going to see if I was going to keep just arguing with you, but I'm not going to do it.
Now, we've been drinking our old fashions out of these wobbly glasses that Josh and Haley gifted me for my birthday.
I was like, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
When I was making these
I kept worrying they're
old-fashions.
going to spill, so
I
they're the
know.
glasses that they kind of go on their side and they wobble back and
They're
forth.
like
They're really
a top,
cool.
like,
Yeah.
spin it.
Yeah.
Spin it. Don't spin it.
I don't have enough room here to spin it, but I kept worrying I was going to knock mine over because I thought I was going to see it rolling and like grab for it thinking it was falling. But anyways, the old fashioned was very good. But let's talk a little bit about this Maker's Mark Cask Strength. Why don't you go ahead and do your background that you do?
You try it.
And I will try it.
Neat.
Yeah, I'll try it neat, and then I have some stuff to say about the collection we have, I guess, in general.
Okay.
That I'll get to while you try it. So go ahead.
All right.
Without further ado.
Without further ado, we are drinking Maker's Mark Cask Strength, and this is bottled, barrel proof. Maker's Mark is non-chill filtered, and because it's bottled at barrel proof, it's going to depend, the proof is going to depend on the barrels. So it goes anywhere from 108 to 114 proof. And the one we're drinking is 109.4 proof. And this is batch number 2104 is what ours is from. It's interesting because on their site, makersmarkbourbon.com, makersmark.com, makersmark.com. They say this is not a beginner's bourbon, and they market this as it is for the enthusiast who's after bolder flavors and higher proofs.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I like it personally. But after being screen filtered to remove the wood pieces and char, it just basically goes straight from the barrel into the bottle basically after removing, kind of filtering it. And it's interesting because with it being the cask strength, like this is the base of the original Maker's Mark. It's the foundation for the bourbons in their wood finishing series, which I want to try. I've never tried any of those. It's the foundation for Maker's Mark 46 and Maker's Mark Private Selection. Their bourbons start with this cask strength whiskey. So we just get to try it before they make it into those other amazing Maker's Mark whiskeys.
Which those other two that you mentioned are in the limited edition collection that we have.
46 and Private Selection?
Correct. So it's called their Whiskey Heritage, the third. This is the third. I assume that means they've done 2 others. Limited edition collection. And the cask strength that we're drinking is, like you said, it's the basis and the foundation, and they call it the pure expression of our signature whiskey, first crafted in 1953 by T. William Samuels. Now, we've talked about whether you want to call it burn or heat, whatever you want to call it. I like referring to it as heat rather than burn, because even when there is burn, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's interesting because they hit differently. This hits right at the tip. You don't get it when you swallow, but it's right at the tip of the tongue. What are you smelling over there? I see you smelling.
I did. And before I even looked at any of the tasting notes that you're going to go over, it reminds me of, it's super strong vanilla with a hint of caramel. almost like a caramel macchiato. Hold back the coffee.
I can see where you'd get that smell in it. Mm-hmm. I'm no longer going over tasting notes. I'm making my own.
Good.
Certified professional now. Self-certified, but certified professional here. So I'll go ahead and talk about it since you just took your first taste. Now I won't. You get a lot of spice. Or I meant I wasn't going to do it before you took your first taste is what I meant. Because I don't want to kind of influence what you get. But you get a lot of spice, and then it finishes to me with that little vanilla caramel mixture.
Whew, it is. It's heat.
Mm-hmm.
No, it is. It's like a lot of flavor at first, and then it finishes sweet.
It's baking spices.
I was gonna say baking because if
Yeah.
I smell this again too, like the caramel macchiato sans the coffee, but when you smell this too, it's like baking, like a caramely vanilla cake baking.
Yeah.
With some spices in there.
Do you get any citrus in it? I get just a
I don't pick up any citrus,
You
but
don't?
I'm bad about that.
Okay.
And,
I'm just getting just a
I do
tiny,
taste the
tiny
oak.
hint.
I taste a lot
Yeah.
of oak.
Yeah, I get a lot of baking spice finished with some caramel vanilla, but there's just a little hint of citrus for me. Tiny, but it's there.
Like at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
Is that just the burn going into your sinuses, Justin?
No, there's just a little bit of citrus. This was very good in the old fashioned. It stood
It
out very
stands
well.
out. This
Yeah.
does not lose itself in the old fashioned. The old fashioned packed a punch.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. A much
it's
needed
good.
punch.
I like Maker's Mark. Whenever I'm out somewhere and I don't, like, if we're out getting a drink somewhere, they don't have a large whiskey selection. Places usually have Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
And that is oftentimes a go-to if I don't care for any of the other whiskeys they have, if it's a minimal selection or there's not a whiskey there that I know I'm going to like in my old fashioned.
Sure.
I will go to Maker's Mark. I think my first old fashioned I ever had Maker's in it.
It's possible.
When I ever tried. I shouldn't say I had. Probably
Yeah.
tried of yours.
Right.
I feel like you used to always get Maker's in yours.
I did. I got a lot of times I got Makers because it's something that most of the bars have.
Mm-hmm.
So if they don't have a list of their whiskeys and I don't want to play the, hey, do you have this? Do you have that? Do you have this? A lot of times I would just say old fashioned with Makers because I don't want the well stuff. So give it to me with Makers, basically.
No, but this is good. It is it's a great high proof bourbon.
Agreed. So we had a contest and our winner has not contacted us yet.
So let's give.
Are we giving them more time?
Yep, let's give them more time.
Okay. But we still have our June contest going. Don't forget, it is a private selection Elijah Craig barrel proof. I am jealous that I'm not eligible. Even though I keep filling out the poll questions, I know I'm not going to be eligible. But make sure you check out our Twitter to fill it out. Or if you, for whatever, I mean, maybe you don't have Twitter. That's okay. Go to betteredge.com/OFF-fun. We're releasing questions every Tuesday night / Wednesday morning regarding our podcast. And then Thursday or Friday, just make sure you're checking.
Yeah.
We're going to have a question regarding a sports game. And it's going to be a prop or some type of bet like that. We might have to do USFL or CFL this weekend because there's not a lot of events going.
Brian Scott.
Brian Scott. Gotta love Brian. He's very excited. 5 days away from his first game, and he wears number 5 in the CFL. So he reached out with me and showed me a little photo of that because they had it on his social media. But anyways, that was my little flex that Brian Scott's reaching out to me.
Fanboy over here.
That's right. Do you have anything else to add?
No, just an apology. Like I said, balls deep over here in work. My social media presence has been lacking, and I know that I'm slacking on it.
Lacking and a slacking.
Yep. But yes, I will be creating our Instagram. Our Facebook page is up and running.
Yeah, we created a Facebook page. We're
And-
just looking for more reach. Make sure we get on
Yes.
people's radar. Just on Facebook, search Old Fashioned Football Podcast.
My goal, and I've already told you, by the end of the week, I'll have
Yes.
my Insta up. I have Friday off.
That's right. You do have Friday off.
So
I'd say
Friday evening, I will be available to create an Instagram account if I don't get to it before then.
I'd say I'm jealous, but I have some time coming up as well.
You do. So there's that little tidbit. And I would like you to announce our May winner one more time. Give them another week to respond to us. Reach out, because you're missing out if you don't reach out on your free Old Fashioned Football t-shirt from the SGPN merch store and 2 handshakes of any of the whiskeys we have tried on the show through June 1st.
Yeah, our winner was Benjamin Locke. So Benjamin, Ben, however you want to be called, make sure you reach out to us. I even reached out to Benjamin Lau, wondering if maybe it was an alias of his, but told him why I was asking. I did not tell him why I was asking before he confirmed yes or no, because if I had told him, hey, that's Benjamin Locke,
you'd be like,
won.
yes,
yeah, that's
yes,
me.
that's me.
That's right. All right, let's talk about our Edge Boost Double Down play of the day. Of course, we're going to be talking futures here. This is fantasy football, but you can still take your fantasy football knowledge of how good a team is and bet whether they will win the division. Who you taking to win this division, which has not had a repeat winner since something like 2013.
Well, I'm taking them for a repeat winner this year, and I'm going with the Eagles.
I like it. I like it. So your Edge Boost Double Down play of the day is Eagles to win the NFC East. I've already said this on a couple of the gambling podcasts. I'm just going to stick to my guns here. There's been no repeat winner. The Cowboys are falling.
Yeah.
The Eagles are going to take a step back because the running game is not going to be as good.
We don't know what to expect out of Sam Howell.
We don't know what to expect out
So
of
you're
Sam
picking
Howell.
the Giants.
So
I haven't
give me
listened to your other gambling
Dan
podcasts.
fucking Jones
I didn't hear
and
you
the
say
Giants. You're welcome,
So-
Kramer.
that. All right.
Just remember that with my performance review. Yeah, I'm taking the Giants. That's my Edge Boost Double Down play of the day. Sprinkle a little bit on them. Thanks for watching, or I guess not watching. Thanks for listening. However, remember, we are throwing these up on YouTube. So if you don't want to listen to it on Spotify, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, you can look at our little logo and the little thing dance. Every now and then I throw in photos. It depends on how much time I got. But yeah, check us out on YouTube. Anything else to add? Don't forget to fill out the poll.
Yeah. Fill out the poll.
Make sure you get yourself signed up.
Check back
to win.
in Thursday, Friday this week to get that second question. Our giveaway is based on points for correct answers.
Yeah. Yep. So we'll have a question, like I said, tonight or tomorrow morning. Just check tomorrow morning. Our pod questions are not going to expire until the end of the month because I know not everybody can listen right away on Tuesday or Wednesday. It might take them to the weekend. So those won't expire. The Thursday or Friday questions will.
Obviously,
as soon as
since
the
they're
game
tied
starts.
to a game.
Right. Yep. So how's your old-fashioned over there?
It's gone.
Going once, going twice.
Sold.
Old-fashioned football.